absolutely adored The Perfect Twins. This is the second episode of the ninth season of Rugrats. It's a double-parter, and I have to say, I'm really thrilled I am. Before I even knew what this was about, I was looking forward to it because I assumed it would be about Phil and Lil, who are my favourites, and I was right. But it turns out, for me personally, there's an extra layer of excitement because Phil and Lil's British twin cousins and their parents are coming to visit. And me being British, I just love it when American TV shows, particularly kids shows, do British because they're full of stereotypes. And I find that so fun. And this is exactly what we get here. I won't go into detail about all of the stereotypes, but the way they talk is very stereotypical. They stick their pinkies out. Because it's a party, there are various foodstuffs themed around British things. My favourite being Westminster Crabby, which is Westminster Abbey made out of, I assume, crabs, and so many other British things. And Phil and Lil wear Union flags at one point, which I adore. Just, it's British everywhere, and I love it. The narrative itself focuses on the perfect twins, and the twins are called Hedley and Smedley, and they are perfect in every way. They finish each other's sentences. They're very respectful of one another, and Phil and Lil are, well, quite frankly, the opposite. And it's quite interesting because Phil and Lil may seem like the perfect twins because they dress in identical clothing, but Hedley and Smedley's mother tells Betty that she dresses her children differently so that it helps to encourage individuality, which is, something that a lot of parents of twins will do. So I think there are arguments, 2 and 4 each. If twins want to dress the same, brilliant. But if they want to dress differently, that should be encouraged as well. This is what we have with Hedley and Smedley. And there are so many little things that help to show subtle differences. For example, Hedley and Smedley get excited about ducks on sticks, which are those toy ducks on sticks, and they begin to push them forwards. And Phil and Lil, wanting to come across as perfect twins as well, grab onto these dogs on leads. But in order to obviously make them move, you have to drag them backwards because the leads are floppy and you can't push them. And we have Hedley and Smedley going forward and Phil and Lil going backwards. And it helps to really show these differences, but also how Phil and Lil can possibly come across as not being perfect. And there are so many small things in the episode that really help to highlight this. It's very cleverly done. Even, I don't know if this was a conscious decision, but at one point when one of the perfect twins was talking, their upper lip kind of curled as if they tried to have this classic British stiff upper lip. I don't know if that was a conscious decision on the animator's part or if it was just, a different way of animating the mouth. But there are so many small things in this that I absolutely adored. They're visiting because they're coming to visit all of their relatives, and Betty and Howard were meant to invite over all of their clan, but something went wrong and they got the date wrong, so their family is not actually visiting. So they round up all of the other adults and their families. Not only was this a really clever way to involve the other babies, Kimi, Chuckie, Tommy, and Dill, who kind of have a fun role to play in it, but it would have completely worked without them, but I don't mind them being in it. But it also helped to show that actually family is what you make it, and by inviting over Stu and Didi and Charlotte and Drew and I assume Chaz was there, I can't remember. But by inviting over all of the other adults, it helped to show that actually this is Betty's day-to-day family. These are the people that she has made her own family. And that I think is a really lovely message. Of course, there's a lot of comedy there as the fake family pretend to be Betty's family members. And I thought it worked very well written. I adored it. I adored every second of it. Oh, Angelica's there as well, and Angelica is being the queen, a role that suits her very, very well. And ultimately, she actually played quite an important role in the direction of the final, maybe the final third of the episode. I loved it, absolutely adored it. Very quickly has become one of my favourite Rugrats episodes, maybe my favourite. I realise I'm tremendously biased by being British, but I adored it. Everything about this worked, but it's Phil and Lil. Had it been, the story would have had to have been different, but had it been British heavy, but focusing on maybe Tommy and Dill's cousins, I think it wouldn't have worked quite as well. With it being Phil and Lil, it was just wonderful. And then all of the Britishisms and stereotypes, I just adored. Everything about this, I absolutely loved.